Hello, Leos. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Leo, I wanted to pull one card out. I got two. Two cards came out of the deck while I was shuffling the Lace of Destiny Oracle deck for you. And you also have two underlying cards, so it's very interesting. I'll show you the underlying here. You have the Love card, and then you have the Scythe. That's an interesting story all in itself. Like, I feel like you literally have two readings here, or I'm looking at a brutal cycle here. So, something was really uncomfortable or maybe even painful. And then we have what you're in now, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the Love card is like a devotion. It's a devotion to another person here. Like, we can all describe what love is, but in the context of this card and how it's asked to be described to the viewer in this reading, is it is somebody here that you want to share your time with, somebody here that you want to share your deepest secrets with, somebody here that you feel just so compelled to do things for this person. This person feels the same for you, like two people who share similar feelings and desires towards one another. But then the Scythe comes in, and the Scythe is like, Scythe is a symbol of a brutal and maybe even often quick ending to something. Larry is very restless today, and he's very vocal. We've talked about it. He's not listening to me. So we'll just see what happens. And I say that like he gets his zoomies. It's like crazy zoomies. And then he gets really vocal about the zoomies. Like, everybody needs to know, and everybody has to come and play with him. No matter what you're doing. Anyways, back to this underline. This just feels like some sort of love here that was cut off. Like, brutal. Either you needed to do this, the other person needed to do this, or there was some sort of situation that you had or this person had no control over that brought an end to this. It brought an end to being able to jump through the window here and share a quick kiss. So then that takes us to this right now. Actually, interesting. Both your underlying and your current energy have one card each that is a situation card. The Love is a situation card, and the Silence is a situation card. And then we have the Mice. The Mice card is really cute, right? Like, it's a really sort of cute symbolism here of looking after the little ones and tending to the little ones. But there's actually like a bit of a dichotomy with this. And I did take the time to go into the book a little bit here with these cards when I pulled them out, because I had my own interpretation. Well, with this Mouse card, there's a sister deck to this deck called The Shadows of the Middle Ages. Many of you have seen me use it in the past. It also has a mouse card, and that card really talks about the importance of it's a time where it's very important to be self-interested. Your interests really need to be considered here. Your personal interests very much need to be considered. It is not a time for sort of like an altruistic thinking. And so I went into this card because I'm like, it's so cute. What are we being quiet about? Are we being quiet about how we're helping like little ones, or being quiet here because, you know, quiet as a mouse? Is it like sort of something like that? And then, you know, I started reading the book, and everything that it talked about is true. Mice and rats. Rats in particular were connected to was it the Black Plague? And it wasn't the mice, it was the rats on the mice that were moving that disease around. But anyways, people couldn't really see the fleas or associated then. Anyways, rats, but they can be. I tell you, rats can be very, very destructive, as can mice. And now here's the interesting thing. Rats are kind of looked at as a more sort of, I guess, menacing and dirty and dangerous animal than mice are. And that's what's really interesting about this card, right? Like, it's kind of giving them a cartoonish image, and they're not. They can be actually, and I think they are, even more destructive than rats. And one of the reasons for that is their habit. So mice tend to be nibblers. So mice will nibble here, and they will nibble there, and they will nibble here and there. Rats will sit and gorge themselves. And the difference in terms of how destructive that can be is you can have one mouse go through a warehouse full of bags of rice, right? Okay. And that one mouse will go through and nibble off of every one of those bags. every one of those bags has now been contaminated and cannot be used for human food or be sold. It's all going to the garbage. Where a rat might sit and gorge on, well, they really can't gorge on rice. It'll probably kill them anyways because it's dry. It acts as a desiccant, but it's just an example. A rat will sit and eat out of the whole one spot. They're kind of lazy. Just gonna eat all of the one. So like 1 or 2 bags out of the whole warehouse have to be thrown out. So it's as cute as they are very destructive. And there's something about that in this reading because it's important to be quiet. Either you are being very quiet about a situation here, and it's because you need to look after your own interests. There's something here that you can't talk about. There's something that maybe on the surface doesn't seem very harmful, or to someone who doesn't have experience with it, it may not seem very destructive, right? A lot of people don't know what the more destructive habits of mice are, right? And they pee constantly. So they'll pee on the food. That's why the whole thing's got to be thrown. You don't know if the mouse went into the bag of food and peed all through it and then came out and went to the next one. Like, there's a lot of things here that I think others around you don't know. Because I'm really getting, like, this mice card is really like, stop looking at it as a cartoon, Cindy, and look at it as you know what mice can be, having worked in pest control for almost 2 decades, a long time ago. So they are very, very destructive, and not to mention as well, like physical destruction that they do to structures. They can gnaw through anything except steel. If you're trying to exclude mice from your home and you think you could do that with cement or expanding foam, you're very much mistaken. You know, like, that's the other thing. There's something here that can really get in. It takes an awful lot to stop something here from getting in and causing destruction. And it's like, you're the only one. You're the only one that really know. Like, it's almost too, like, be quiet and listen. The other thing too, right? Like, if you're, be quiet and listen. If you think there's something going on in the wall, shh, listen. But I think there's also an importance here for you to be quiet, or you're trying to even maybe tell someone else to be quiet. It's a situation here that can't be talked about and you can't say anything. It could also be because people around you might have their own perception of what this is, and they're wrong. They're only looking at something for, it's kind of cute little, oh, isn't that sweet? Aren't the little mice so cute? And yeah, they can be, but their natural state is very destructive. I mean, and they're basically just, for the most part, they serve as prey to a lot of animals. I want to say, right, like, it's kind of, I guess, in a sense, and they become destructive when they come into contact with people. I know a lot of people will say, you know, it's not the mouse's fault. No, it's not. They're just being mice. But for the most part, where they are pests in the way that I've described are areas where either agriculture has come into the area, or mice have been brought into an area where they did not used to exist. Mice and rats. Right? Like, it's interesting because here in Canada we have deer mice. They're natural. They really don't come inside. That you almost never find them inside, because they're equipped to live outside in the conditions of Canada. They don't want to be inside. If they find themselves inside, it's either because Larry brought them in, or because, you know, they kind of accidentally came into your garage and are trying to figure out how to get out. But they're not going to prolifically breed in your house, and you're going to have a house full of deer mice 99% of the time. It's European mice. I don't remember what there's terms for them that came on ships, right? Anyways, to see, I'm saying all that, I'm feeling compelled to say this because I feel like that there's something going on here where maybe somebody is not understanding, or people are not, or they would not understand the nuance of what you're dealing with. And maybe it's even just better to be quiet. You know, like, sometimes you're like, well, I'm just going to say something here and I'm going to let everybody know, like, that this is not a good thing. This is not as cute as you think it is. There's, like, this could actually turn into a really big problem. And I've also found, too, that it's really, really easy, like, I'm going to kind of slip into yourself here, that it's really, really easy for other people to criticize what you're doing. Like, I used to run into people all the time criticizing me for working in the pest control industry. And I'm like, you have no idea. You would have no fucking food to eat. You would have no food. You would have no food and we'd all be dying of disease. Did not. Like, if you didn't have people like me making sure that this food was being kept safe. It's like, I'm getting this. Like, it's really easy to criticize somebody who has no fucking idea. Because there's something here that you're being quiet about. Or there's something here that you know. I'm wondering, like, obviously this is probably not in the context that there's mice in the house and you can't tell anybody. You probably would, or maybe there are, and you're like, you're getting rid of them, and you know, people will be like, Matt, don't let them out. Oh, there's that too. You have to live trap them and release them. Trust me, you'll be live trapping the same fucking mice all winter. We're like, this is fun. We just keep going back in and out, back in and out, back. Come right back. They will come right back to the house. See how this ties into this, I'm not sure. That's also interesting. What are we looking at here? We're looking at agriculture. And what were we talking about? How can mice be a problem? When they get into like agricultural food stores, they get into the actual buildings, they can gnaw wires, give them enough time, they can destroy beams and foundations. Love, and then a scythe. Was it the scythe that came to an end? Or was there something here that needed to be harvested in life? Are these two things happening at the same time in the past? Was there some like a connection here, a deep love connection? But then at the same time, there is like something that needed to be harvested. Right? And it's also very interesting that we look at this symbol because this bale was not created by someone who was likely using a scythe. So this bale was very much created by a baler, right? That you attach to a tractor. That yeah, I did that too. So what the fuck I haven't done? We didn't use round bales though. I ended up working at a dairy farm and we used square bales, and I'm telling you. Baled hay on the hottest day of the year. I was 18 then and I was in good shape. I could not do that today. My God. But that's interesting. We're gonna go to tarot. I'm just really feeling like there's something here that you need to be quiet about, or you're trying to tell someone else to be quiet. Quiet as a mouse. But it also feels like that there's something here that could be very, very destructive. The mice. Let's just see the mice. The lovers. The fuck? Is this like some sort of love here that can't be expressed? Is it some sort of love that you have to be quiet about? Why the silence? Oh, the Five of Wands. There's a conflict here. Attention could draw... Well, it could draw unwanted attention of some type here. Competition. How does this all connect? Let's go over to this past because these are connected. You literally got the lovers. So love. Show me this love in the past. The situation of love in the past. The Seven of Swords, hidden or hiding it. A hidden love here, hiding this love. Hiding this love. The Hanged Man. The Knight of Cups. And the King of Wands. There's a sense of hiding something here and making a sacrifice. Hiding, maybe you were hiding love. Like maybe, and then you stopped doing that. Like with the scythe. What ended with the scythe? Let's just get into that. What ended with the scythe? And right, the King of Wands here. This is you in your reading. What came to this end with the scythe? The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune came to an end. Is this good or bad? Like which way? I don't know which way the wheel was spinning. So, the Six of Cups, the Hermit, and the Eight of Swords. Oh, suddenly, okay, it feels like something suddenly felt bad. Like something that felt really, really good suddenly feels really, really bad. Like it feels like circumstances change out of your control here. And you're not really sure where you're going or what's going on. You feel kind of alone. You maybe feel like you're not connected to the person you thought you were connected to. Yeah, and feeling like confused about what tomorrow brings. God, that song comes in so often. Yeah. I want to say, like, if you thought you knew where you were going in a relationship or with a relationship, it's like it suddenly changed. Something suddenly changed in this relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It feels a little bit like it is. It definitely feels like it is. It could have something to do with a deep soulmate connection here. But it's then like just suddenly it feels like when luck was on your side, and then all of a sudden it's flipped right around and there's just terrible luck with it even. Okay, so let's go back here to the Lovers with the Mice card. The High Priestess. The Death card. Holy Major Arcana. And the King of Pentacles. The Silence has the Five of Wands. The Page of Cups. The Two of Cups. And the Eight of Pentacles. Now this is feeling like somebody has some type of a responsibility here. They have a responsibility to maybe even keep something quiet. Is this somebody that is dealing with you? Okay, I feel like that's a confirmation when the crow comes through. It's like, okay, this is somebody that makes sense because the mice is coming through like it is some type of unperceived threat. But I feel like it's an unperceived threat by like others. There's something here going on in your life that you can easily see what it is. You can see that there's possibly a conflict between how you feel and what needs to be done. And I feel like what needs to be done is in some way here, you're protecting your energy, you're protecting some type of information, you are being quiet about the mice. You know what it's feeling like? It's kind of feeling like, now if this is happening, it can't be sustained. It looks like with me, with the mice, because there's like, it's all Major Arcana and then the King of Pentacles steps in. And a way, I like the way he steps in like with, well actually I don't like the way he steps in and the way this card is coming through right now, but he's got one step like forward. He feels a bit like he's guarding something here like the hearth. But it also feels like like it's the last card that came out. It's like he's stepping in front of all of this major arcana. Like he's trying to control something that really shouldn't be controlled, because like it's major arcana. It's kind of also attached to the idea of the Wheel of Fortune, that these cards are not, these are the energies that we cannot change or transform. They exist as they are, and we work through them. We don't control them. It's weird. Like it looks like this King of Pentacles is trying to control this energy. And I'm wondering if it is like the symbolism of the mice here, trying to control something from getting out of hand. Trying to control something from getting out of hand. You know, it's also kind of giving me the vibe here of, let's say there's two people that live in a house together. Okay, and I'm going to say you're one of these people. And let's say out of the two, one is like a real die-hard, and forgive me, I'm not bashing anyone when I say this, like a real die-hard vegan, animal rights, we don't kill anything, nothing, right, like that. And then the other person is kind of like, well, let's say more like me. Like I've worked on a farm, I've worked in pest control. I can see, like, I know you're all going to starve to death if you try to live in an idealistic way. It's impossible. You end up using a lot more resources that you think that you're saving. But anyways, let's not get into that, because there's good and bad to both sides here. But it's like there's mice getting in to the pantry, and they're destroying things in the cupboards. They're every time you go grocery shopping, you come back and all this stuff has been chewed open and the food is out. And the person who is, you know, oh, no harm to nobody, no harm to nothing, we don't hurt any little animal here, every animal counts. I'm not going to say that isn't true. It's also like, anyways, sometimes my own Gemini energy is like, that's true, but it's like they put out like these little live traps or something. It's like they put out these little live traps and they're catching the mice, and then, but maybe they're like, oh, they kind of make me nervous, can you, and then asking you to come in and can you take them out and release them. It's almost like you take them out and then you get a big bucket of water, and I'm sorry if nobody likes to hear that, but you know, it does happen. And then you drown them all. And then you just tell them, yeah, I let them go. Eventually there's no more mice in the house, because A, you weren't releasing them so that they could come just back inside again. And right, it's almost like allowing someone to believe something here. That's the other thing. I feel like you're in the process of trying to allow something or someone to believe maybe what they've done is effective and it'll work that way. But because there's something underlying in this reading that feels like it's dangerous. Like, I don't know if it's dangerous, but, well, yeah, like if you didn't do anything about the mice, you could end up, they would own the house and they would probably burn it down, chewing the wires and stuff. Like, something would have to be done. But I can tell you that if you keep releasing them, well, if they don't come into your house, they'll go into the neighbors. They become somebody else's problem, is basically it, right? Like, you cannot be altruistic here. That is the biggest thing going on in this video. You cannot be altruistic. And, right, altruistic is kind of that, too. I want to say it's that idea that, you know, everything can be goodness, and if we do it this way, everyone will, like, yeah, a lot of times you're just taking what was your fucking problem, and then you're being altruistic, thinking that you just put it out the door and it's nobody else's problem. It's like that, right? You can't do that here. And I feel like you're trying to be really quiet, either about something that you are engaged in, something that you're doing, or there's this, like, you can't let this person, no, I don't know. This is like, there's not a lot of pentacles here. Again, I felt like it was going to be one of those weeks. It kind of started off like that, and then we have it. There's the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. That's it. And so maybe that is like giving us this energy, like somebody has a responsibility here. I don't know what it is. Somebody's working hard behind the scenes. I don't know specifically what it is, but it too, like it could be somebody that you really dearly love. And this person's just got the wrong idea. Like, and you may not want to make a problem between you and this person. That's why it also feels like you're trying to do something quietly here without being obvious and open. Shit, that was like, this is such a really interesting energy. The Five of Cups and the Three of Pentacles are on the bottom. The Five of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. See, I'm getting this feel like this feels like this is the altruistic group. And then this is almost like you over here like, oh my God, it doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. I don't know. I'm going to go do the extended, Leo. In the extended, because your underline here is like, I don't know, love was cut out, love ended, something, right? Some big change here in love. I'm going to end the extended. I'm going to ask about the future of love for you. So let's see, because it's something has been cut out here. So let's see what the future is for you in love, Leos. There's 2 options in the description below if you'd like to follow me to the extended. Thank you so much, pussycats. Till next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.